There is no other season of the year that fills me up with positive energy and enthusiasm for life like summer does. Every second that I get to spend outside in nature just fills me up with joy, and I just want to be outside as long as possible. Everything is in full bloom and growing stronger and taller. Sometimes it feels like I could watch the grass grow. That's how vibrant everything feels at the moment. Over the last couple of years, I've tried to live more in tune with the natural vibes and energies that the different seasons provide. So in summer, I like to use the plentiful daylight and warmth that are available to fill up my daily life. This season has so much to offer. I absolutely love summer. For this video, I have compiled a list of slow living activities that I will be pursuing during these beautiful summer months, in case you need some ideas and inspirations to slow down the pace and not have the warm months pass you by in a rush. I'd love to hear what you are up to this time of the year, so feel free to leave your suggestions in the comments below. Coffee is always a good idea, and every season of the year offers an opportunity to indulge on a fitting coffee beverage. For me, cold brewed coffee is one of my summery highlights, as I usually only make it when it's warm outside and I crave for a refreshing beverage. Cold brew has a completely unique flavor profile and shows new tasting notes of the coffee you use when compared to regular filter or espresso coffee. It is usually very balanced, has a natural sweetness, and feels very refreshing. One of the best parts, you don't need any fancy machine or equipment. It is very simple to brew. For brewing around a liter of cold brew, you will need around 90 to 100 grams of whole coffee beans. Personally, I don't like a too dark or too light roast, as I don't want huge roasty or acidic flavors in my cold brew. But this is completely personal, so you can experiment with your perfect bean. Grind your beans pretty coarsely, somewhat around a French press grind. Add the coffee grounds to your vessel of choice and mix in around 500 milliliters of cold water. In this case, I used filtered water, but that is completely optional. Let it sit for around 5 minutes before adding the remaining 500 milliliters of cold water. Mix well, cover up your vessel, and put it in the fridge for 10 to 14 hours. During this slow extraction, the coffee will develop all its amazing aromas. I usually simply let it sit overnight. After this, strain the coffee grounds and you will end up with your homemade cold brewed coffee. You can serve it in many different ways. Black over some ice, maybe with a splash of milk, sweetened, or even mixed with grapefruit juice and tonic. But be wary, as cold brew has a very high caffeine content due to its long steep. If you decide to try out this recipe yourself, let me know how you liked it in the comments below. While spring for me signifies a season of cleaning and letting go, summer naturally feels like a season of growth and exploration. With all the flowers, trees, and fields around me growing more and more lush and more beautiful, I feel inclined to use this boosting energy to do some positive self-reflection. Summer, with all its warmth, light, and colors, provides everything that I need to do some soul searching and reflect on areas in my life which I would like to grow in myself. To me, I don't really mean this in the sense of like performance optimization or endless improvement, but rather a more gentle approach by looking inside and outside while looking out for opportunities to grow and maybe try out new things. Maybe there is something that you always wanted to do, learn, or explore. Maybe a new hobby, a new craft, or a new cuisine to cook. I like to take a couple of minutes and let my mind wander and explore on its own. I always have a list on my phone with things I would like to try out or do at some time of the year. In our hectic world, we sometimes need to carve out a little time specifically to do these kinds of things that simply feel good and are good for us. They don't need to be productive, and you don't need to worry about what anybody else thinks about it. If it is interesting to you and it makes you feel good, explore it and have fun. Simple as that. I feel like this is what this beautiful season is all about. To me, summer with its seemingly endless light and warmth provides everything to spend as much time outside as possible. During summer, my body and mind just want to be outside. It allows me to unwind, relax, and take it all in. To me, it kind of feels like my body wants to soak up all the sunlight and lively energy to be prepared for the colder and darker months that will be here sooner than I would currently wish. What can completely distract from spending quality time outside is the phone or any other type of technology that is connected to the internet. It simply is too distracting and taking everything that is beautiful away from nature. So for this summer, my recommendation is spending some quality time outside in nature without any type of device that could distract you. Leave the phone at home or maybe in the car and let nature entertain your senses. This summer I started to do more of my workouts outside, eat my meals in my garden. For anybody living in the city or the suburbs, I would highly recommend a trip to the countryside, maybe to spend some quality time with a friend, a loved one, or simply by yourself. Pack up some nice food and beverages for a picnic and take a day off the daily hustle and bustle. Living in the countryside myself, I love going for long walks, stopping from time to time to let in all the beautiful views, smells, and sounds. I love watching birds, butterflies, or bees do what they do and observing the nature around me. We as human beings are supposed to be in nature, and summer just makes it so much easier and more comfortable to be outside. One thing that I absolutely love about summer are the seasonal fruits and vegetables that we get around here. We get the most beautiful nectarines, peaches, apricots, or delicious tomatoes. To embrace and celebrate this seasonality of products, I decided to bake a nectarine peach crumble pie. And I have to say, it was an absolute crowd pleaser. I started off by making a classic pie dough by rubbing together spelt flour, sugar, a little bit of salt with some cold margarine or butter before spooning in some cold water to form the dough. After letting it sit in the fridge for around 20 minutes, I rolled it out, placed it in a pie tin and pre-baked it with some chickpeas on top. While it was in the oven, I sliced up around 3 peaches. I used these super delicious flat peaches and 3 nectarines. I put them in a bowl and tossed the slices in some sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, lemon juice, and vanilla. I then took the pie crust out of the oven, let it cool down, and went on with the crumble. I used some of the spare pie crust, mixed in some additional coconut oil that I melted, flour, rolled oats, walnut, and some more sugar. When the crust cooled down enough, I filled it with the fruit filling and topped it off with the crumble mixture. After this, the pie was already assembled and simply needed around 35 to 40 more minutes in the oven while being covered with some foil. It came out golden and smelled absolutely fantastic. I was first a little bit skeptical that it would be too dry, but that wasn't the case at all. The baked peaches and nectarines combined with the vanilla and cinnamon had such an incredible aroma that for me perfectly represented the spirit of summer. An absolute recommendation from my part. During the summer, I also really like to expose myself to the elements, more than I would usually do in the colder times of the year, simply because it is much more accessible. I like to go outside, even when it's raining, and feel the rain on my jacket while listening to the soothing sounds. To me, there is almost no better smell in the world than the smell of a warm summer rain. It feels like a break from the heat, and it brings all the vital energy that all of nature needs at that moment. I also sometimes like to go outside barefoot and walk around on the grass, and sometimes even go for walks in the forest with no shoes at times. Yes, I know, that completely makes me sound like a hippie, but it simply feels nice. Maybe if you don't have a garden or forest nearby, you might be close to a park or maybe some other type of greenery where you can get that connection to nature for some time. Nature can absolutely be a full body experience, and summer might just be the perfect season to experience this to the fullest. Happy summer, everybody. I hope wherever you live that you have a lot of sun right now, beautiful days, and a lot of greenery and blooming flowers around you. I feel like summer sometimes can be a little bit tricky, as at least for me, sometimes I can have certain expectations or build a certain pressure on summer. There usually is a sort of summer vacation maybe, or it is the one time of the year in which I want to cram everything and do everything and explore everything and have high expectations of what summer has to be. I feel like it is best to simply enjoy the season as it is. As an example, here in Switzerland, this summer has been very nice from the weather, but it has rained a lot. It hasn't been the warmest summer, at least in comparison to the last couple of years. And a lot of people take that as a bad summer. One thing that I hear constantly is talking about how bad this summer is currently, how bad the weather is, you know, you can't go for a swim, etc. And that is simply because you have certain expectations and certain pressure that you put on the summer. And I want to let that go and simply enjoy the season as it is, super beautiful, and have fun with whatever conditions come with it. So I hope you can do the same. I hope that you have a wonderful summer. Maybe you will do something from the list that I just suggested. And if you have something else that you're exploring this summer, please feel free to share that in the comments. I'm always very glad to read your guys' recommendations. That will be it with these summer activities for this year. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to follow me on my slow living journey, feel free to come along on my channel, and see you very soon again in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.